have now 8.5, sir.
8.5, okay. And if we could go back and forth, that's okay with the Minister. Minister, I have some questions that have to do with the topic we've discussed before, and it's of great concern to my constituents, and that's with regards to the development of the methane regulations, part of the carbon leadership, or the climate leadership plan, rather, for the 45% reduction in emissions, specifically methane emissions, by the year 2025, is sort of the target date. We've talked before, and there's still a lot of anxiety in our area of the province, and I mean, you know as well that there are other areas of the province where the production facilities are methane intensive. Peace River is another one, but certainly nothing beats Lloydminster.
Yeah, you win.
It's a dubious distinction. So I guess my question, Minister, I know that there's a committee that's been working on this. The initial time that they were going to have these regulations out was in July, and then September, and then November, and we're now April, and I think we're still waiting unless I've missed an announcement or a release of those regulations.
No, so, and absolutely, I've met with some of your constituents during AUMA, I think it was, and we discussed that at length. And so certainly, reducing methane emissions is key part of the climate leadership plan and a vital component to secure our energy future. And so this initiative is, as I said, part of the climate leadership plan to make us one of the most environmentally responsible energy producers in the world while strengthening our economy. So our commitment, you're correct, is 45% from the 2014 levels to by 2025. We have struck a committee, and we've been doing a lot of really good work in this to create an Made in Alberta plan. We're looking for competitiveness, flexibility to industry and all that. And some of the reasons we've missed some deadlines because we want to get it right. I have to say industry has been critical in getting really good ideas and what would work for them. And I think we're getting very close to what can work for industry, what can work for environmental groups, what can work for the feds. And so we're taking the time to do it right because honestly, in the federal regulation or federal legislation, we don't want them to be imposing what's going to work for Alberta because we are the major ones who need to deal with this. So we're getting it right. As I say, we're very close. More to come soon. And I know, but I'm very happy with the way we've been going with this, and you'll be one of the first ones I'll let know when we're announcing things.
Well, Minister, like I say, I understand the frustration of the people who are waiting, but I would rather have it late and right than early and not right.
That's what we're working for.
I encourage to take the time that's necessary to get it right. One of the things I always find interesting pouring through budget documents is changes or things that sometimes disappear from one year to the next. Now, last year in Budget 2017 under Outcome 3, which was Albertans benefit from a stable and reliable electricity system, you had a key strategy of 3.4, which was to collaborate with other governments to further explore electricity initiatives. Now, this was not in the business plan for 2018. I'm curious to know why this was eliminated in this budget, and were those explorations successful? And if they were successful, what did they result in? And if it was unsuccessful, what are the new intergovernmental or interprovincial relations that have been in the energy sector under your current government?
Okay, so sorry, can you direct me to what page you might be referring to?
Oh. Good heavens. Yes, sure. Why not? Well, of course, it's not in 2018.
No,
so that don't go looking there.
Okay.
Budget 2017, it's in there somewhere.
Oh, okay. I actually have a note on this.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course I can't find it. Yeah, so we're... yeah. All this started out to, this east-west grid and looking at it as part of the Canadian energy framework that the Premier has all agreed to. And so, we're creating an electricity capacity market, looking at a number of things as was discussed before you came. So the transition, I'm just looking for the key thing that might direct me to, rather than read everything to you. He's not there. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
You know, Mr., let's really quickly just move to one last thing. This is very topical, very current. You know, in light of very recent events, you know, the government, or at least the Premier mentioned that we may become part owners of a pipeline. Soon we're going to be part owners of a huge clinical pathology lab and part owners of a super laundry. But let's talk about the pipeline. Now, we're also the regulator. How does it work if we're the regulator and also the owner of a piece of infrastructure? And I think my colleague to the left would say, what do the taxpayers get out of the said ownership of a part of the pipeline? And does the minister think that BC's opposition to this project is going to fundamentally change just because now Alberta owns a part of it?
Okay, well, first of all, we don't regulate pipelines. They're federally regulated with the NEB.
No, the construction
so-
of them, but I mean, certainly the AER has a role in regulation of pipeline
No,
operation.
only within the province.
Okay.
Yeah, not outside the province. And so, yeah, before you came, we talked a bit about this. This is just an option that's come of light in the last day, but it's just a what if right now. It's not a, you know, there's some options on the table, but there's also federal options to put money into this pipeline. So
Right.
it's not something I can speak to really this evening. And I just want to go back to the interties question, in that that's just something we've dropped because honestly we don't have the time right now to do that work when we've got so much other work. So that's one of the reasons it's dropped for the moment. It is
Okay.
part of the Canadian Energy Strategy, but it's not high on our list right now.
Okay, so, okay. Finally, Minister, page 87 of the fiscal plan, it shows that the light-heavy differential will significantly decrease in general over the coming years. Now, this is based on the assumption, I'm guessing that it's based on the assumption, along with the rest of your budget, that Alberta will get the Kinder Morgan Trans Mountain expansion built. Now, among the risks in energy prices, you also identified that without sufficient pipeline capacity, Alberta's growing bitumen production will see a growth in the light-heavy differential. So as a lot of projects move from pre to post-production and the inventory of oil in Alberta and on the prairies increases, how do you expect the light-heavy differential to go down if there is no pipeline already in place?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so this differential going down is based on any two of the three pipelines being built. So again, we're not looking strategically so much as just the capacity of those pipelines,
Okay.
and that's what it's based on at this point.
Okay, and I guess my other question is how are you working with your colleague, the Minister of Transportation, to address the need for increased rail capacity to move bitumen as oil production increases this year? You know, without a pipeline, and if the existing Kinder Morgan is still restricted in terms of its flow because of the recent failure that they had, I get a lot of calls from agricultural producers, as I'm sure you do too,
Yes.
who don't like to see tanker cars go by and would prefer to see grain cars go by their farms. And so I'm just wondering what work you've been doing with the transportation minister or with the railway companies for that matter.
Yeah, well, I certainly can say he and I have had some chats on this matter, and crude by rail is an option for producers.
Thank you,
and-
Minister.
Oh.
We are now going to turn over to the private members of the government caucus. So